Hello, everybody, and welcome to Quantum Heart Talks. We are live. It is a beautiful, beautiful evening at 7 o'clock on the West Coast here in beautiful British Columbia, Canada. And my special guest tonight is Wendy Ratel. I'm so excited of Sensible Solutions Now. Of course, your wonderful host, Quantum Heart Talks, Tony Taylor, couldn't even get the name right as I was trying to introduce you to everybody. I'm kind of going, where did I come up with simple? What was I thinking? I went in there, I'm kind of going, oh my goodness gracious, I have to apologize to Wendy. I'm thinking, I didn't even put her name in right. I go, okay, there's a major faux pas. But you'll forgive me, right?
Oh, totally. And remember when you and I worked together to come up with the name for my company? That was one of the ones that we played around with.
That was probably what it was. It was probably just stuck in my head, right? You know, that I got this, like, it's funny how, and that, speaking of which, that's where the wiring comes in, right? You're just kind of going, ooh, so little adjustment on the reprogramming in the old Mindo. Of course, what a lot of this conversation is about, it's about learning as we're on our own journey. So thank you so much for joining me tonight on Quantum Heart Talks and being one of our special guests so that I can introduce you to to new people and introduce our community of all you amazing lovelies, all you amazing humanitarians trying to raise human consciousness. We all have our own story. We all have our own journey. We all have our own perspective. And this is why it's so important to be able to give a voice and give a platform for all of you, because this is how we learn and this is how we expand, because this is where we have those, oh, there's an aha moment. Never thought of it like that. So thank you, Wendy. Thank you for joining me tonight. And I really appreciate that you've taken time out, because I know you're super busy. You are a busy mom, a busy solopreneur and entrepreneur and other many honneurs. And I would love for you to share with us some of those beautiful gifts and beautiful creations that you have done, so that others can know about you. Would you introduce us a little bit to some of your fabulous creations?
Thank you, Tony. It's been an interesting journey this past week, figuring out what I was going to say tonight.
Oh.
So thank you for that. As Tony and I have talked about, Sensible Solutions Now is a new name for my company. I think I put something on my face. There we go. That's better. And it's the sort of the culmination of about 32 years of entrepreneurial work. So I had to actually, sort of sit back and look at it and go, okay, I have been working for myself, not necessarily always by myself, but for 32 years. That's a long time.
Wow, that is a long time. Now that's a journey. Yeah. I'm thinking you've learned a few things along the way. It's just a hunch.
Maybe a few. Yeah. I was blessed in that my husband and I decided that I was going to stay home and raise kids. So, and you live in Vancouver, so doing that, you still need a second income.
Yes. Vancouver, for those of you who don't know, Vancouver, Canada, yeah. It's probably one of the most expensive cities in the world to live in. It's beautiful, but expensive.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. And although I had a degree, although I had, different things that I could have done, to put 3 kids, or at the time 2 kids, into daycare,
wow,
would have taken my entire income. So I looked at Dave and I went, this is ridiculous. I can do something from home that's going to make the $200 I would have had left over.
Oh my gosh, is that seriously? That's all you would have had to work full time and only bring home $200.
Yeah.
It's like, why would you bother?
Yeah. Well, and that's exactly it. Why would I bother? I could go, I don't know, as I said, even though I had a degree in marketing and all that kind of stuff, I could have gone and cleaned houses. I could have done anything. My mom is a seamstress, so I have like a sewing design background. So my first sort of entrepreneurial venture was in color draping and wardrobe planning.
Wow.
My background, or I have almost 2 degrees. One's in interior design, the other one's in marketing.
Oh
So that
my goodness
color
gracious!
thing,
You got like a double whammy hanging on the wall.
well, I don't have the first one. I moved on and took a business degree, but I had a couple of years of learning and all that kind of thing. So it served me well in that it was color theory and how to put things together and how to coordinate things. And I ended up doing color draping and wardrobe planning for a company called Beauty Control. And that is a direct sales company that was around until I think it was 2017. They finally closed the doors.
Wow. So like this is like, the one thing that it's working with colors and working with like that creative mind, that must have been really fulfilling. Because I'm, sometimes it gets really hard. I think it's really difficult for people when we have this degree, we feel like we're supposed to do something with it.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the courage. You have the courage to say, you know what? That's just not going to work. That is just not going to work. But you could still use that training and create something totally different. And it worked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was really
awesome.
cool. I had a lot of fun doing that. And it led me in some really interesting paths. I did that for a while. And then when Beauty Control took a different turn and they went to spa and home party in that you were soaking somebody's feet, that had no interest. I had no interest in doing that.
I gotta say, I don't think I would have much interest in that either.
Yeah, no, but so I took that learning and built my own company, which is Freshen, which is the company that you have the pouches for.
Oh, okay. Okay, you have got to tell people about your Freshen. You've got to tell people this. This is awesome because everybody, this is amazing because it works. It absolutely works. I got some of these babies. I should have had it with me right now. I got some. They work. So Wendy, tell us the idea. Yes. Tell everybody what they are.
Okay, so I'll tell you the story behind it, and then I'll explain that. So really quickly, I was at a women's networking meeting. I was trying to figure out, now that Beauty Control had changed and was going somewhere else, what I was going to do. I was doing home parties. I had 3 kids that needed to be at different arenas in the evening. That doesn't work.
No.
So I asked the universe for something that would take me where my kids were, because that was my focus. Where am I going to have, what am I going to do with these kids? Where are they going to be? What are they doing? And they were all and are all athletes, which is fantastic. So I'm sitting at this women's work.
Now you're speaking my language.
And one of them's a world-class athlete, much like you.
Wow.
Anyway, so I'm at this women's event whining, literally whining. I will admit that. Because the night before, I had been in my van driving home, gagging from the stupid hockey bag. And if you have ever smelled a hockey bag on a 16-year-old, there is no smell worse.
It is so bad. It is so bad. It is. Yeah. It is so rancid. It curls your eyelashes back. You will not need a curler.
No, ever. So beside me is this beautiful woman who looks at me and she says, well, I know these guys that work with a volcanic mineral. The mineral is used in organic growing, in warehouse or greenhouse growing, which there's a lot of here. And the byproducts of this mineral are that it absorbs odor and moisture. Wow. I wonder.
Ding, ding, ding. I believe we have a winner.
So we developed, I showed you the lovely little pouches. We took this wonderful rock, which is called zeolite, put it in little bags that fit in helmets or skates or gloves or wherever you want to stick them. And what they do is absorb odor and moisture. So in a 16-year-old's hockey bag, you've got dry gloves and skates between games in a tournament. Yeah. Or mostly dry gloves and skates. you are on the road with this kid, you can be in a hotel room with the gear and not be asphyxiated.
No kidding. I can't even imagine. You're going to this beautiful, nice, clean room. You throw the bag in there and you kind of go, really? It's like, really?
I remember one particularly grateful mom. She emailed me, she's out of Chilliwack, and she said to me, this is the first time I've ever traveled with my son without gravel.
Wow. That's quite a testimonial.
Yeah, it was pretty amazing. So fast forward about 5 or 6 years, and we're looking for different things, well, that we can do with this product. Somebody sits a pouch on the kitchen counter, and lo and behold, there's no fruit flies around a banana.
Wow.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
So zeolite absorbs odor, moisture, toxins, and heavy metals and different gases, household gases.
Doesn't that sound like something that's in our library?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
No wonder you totally got it. It was like click, click, click.
For me, it was a no-brainer. I totally got it.
That is
so you've got a pouch or this. It's a rock. My God, it's a rock, and it absorbs. Like seriously, if you can take a rock and absorb yuckies out of the air, you must be able to take an app and deliver something good to the body. I mean, that it wasn't a big jump for me.
and that's what I love about being able to introduce limbic arc to so many people, because even though we have all this diversity in backgrounds, whether you're in health and wellness, or you're a solo entrepreneur, or you're just a mom and dad trying to find a solution for your family, whether you're an athlete looking for focus, whether you're somebody who's been, going down the route of the medical community and you've had nothing but pain and exhaustion and frustration. And this is for everybody anywhere. And I love the way it connects all the dots for everybody, because as I mentioned before, I mean, wellness is a package deal. It's not just about the body. It's, it's spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. And you knew the physical side, what was happening on the physical side. And that to me is just so cool that it was just bing, another connected dot and another opportunity to take care of my family, both from a health and wellness standpoint and from a business standpoint. It's just another match made in heaven, another marriage. So let's just jump a little bit. So you got to do your quantum bioscan, and you have a little bit different experience, did you not? Like you were very open to it because you knew about the zeolite. You saw the library and all the ingredients that are in there. What was it like for you when you first jumped into limbic arc?
I think I was sort of similar to you in that I felt it, but it was very subtle. Things I have noticed over the course of time. I mean, we were talking about this with Julia last night, in that I went into menopause 15 years ago, very early, but 15 years ago. And,
oh, you lucky thing.
Yeah, I know. Anyway, that's a different story. But the morning after I got up, I spotted. First time in 15 years. I thought, what the heck? So that was really weird. I mean, I had cramps.
Wow.
And I kind of didn't pay much attention to it until we were talking to Julia last night, and she mentioned having a similar sort of experience. So that was one thing I noticed. I have had a very sore elbow for a long time. That's gone.
Wow.
So yeah.
I think that's the thing. I think people misunderstand sometimes, that they think they're going to have, like, you just push a button and it's a miracle, right? Well, quite honestly, like in some cases, actually it is. I actually had that actually happen with somebody when I was actually doing their quantum bioscan, and he literally, I'm not kidding you, he literally went like this. He goes, you need to stop talking now. I was like going, okay. And he's kind of going, I'm breathing. I went, okay, because he never told me that he was all like stuffed up, right? He wasn't just stuffed up. He hadn't breathed through his nose in 20 years.
Wow.
In 15 minutes, it was draining. like crazy. So it's interesting. So we do have that, but I think like you said, like for you and I think because we are a little bit more tapped in between the conscious and the subconscious, that we don't have so much of the block. We have been in balance for a while, and now it's just a deeper recalibration that's going on for us. And so thank you for sharing that, because it does take time for some people, and not everybody's aware of the subtleties. It's happening. There's no doubt it's happening. But because it might be subtle, you might not notice it. So you don't really notice it until the habits start changing. Then you kind of go, I'm not yawning in the middle of the day. What's up with that?
Well, I think two of my biggest things was I put my daughter on it, and my daughter's had some learning disability. She's 23. And we put her, and she's having a really stressful time at work. And I put her on Calm. And from the time we sparked her, like from the time I started it to the time she spoke, her voice had changed. Like you could hear her entire being settle. And it's like, wow, okay. And she's sleeping better, and she's just a gentler human being, which is really cool.
Wow, how beautiful is that?
Really, really, really cool. And she, as I said, her work life is very, very stressful at the moment. So
what a beautiful gift to give her.
Yeah.
I know. I wish, I just love hearing those things from moms, because I mean, there's nothing more heart-wrenching and heartbreaking when you feel so hopeless to try and help those that you love, and you don't know what to do. And the last thing you want to do is give any more bloody medication, because everything is just so manipulated and so contaminated now with all the processing and this and that. Sometimes I think it just makes things worse in a lot of cases. And it's so beautiful to know that we can just go straight to our phone or computer or whatever your closest hardware device is, go into the web browser, do a little spark, and bada bing, bada boom, you're done. It's so cool.
I wish I'd had it when she was at school, because maybe the result would have been a totally different result.
But she has it now, and that's all that matters.
She has it now, and she's actually talking about going to trade school. So we'll see. It
wow.
could be an interesting journey.
That is cool. That is very, very cool. What does she want to
do? She's looking at being a machinist.
Wow. Love it. My niece is she welds.
Oh, cool.
She's very, very good. She's very, very talented. I think there's a lot of opportunities now for so many different things for everybody to choose, no matter what they want to do. There's no more of this stigma going, what do you mean you're going to do what? I love the fact that we're now really celebrating the differences and opening up more opportunities, no matter who you are, where you come from, and no matter what your journey is, you have an opportunity to do whatever is pushing you and moving you from here. And that to me is what is so cool. And this is the whole point of having these quantum heart talks, is because, I'm hoping that through sharing each person's story and journey, they can go, wait a minute, maybe I could do that. And you're kind of going, yeah, you can. Right. And it's kind of just shining another light for somebody, because that's what I always say. Everybody thinks that their story doesn't matter. Oh, it's not that important. Who wants to hear what I have to say? A lot of people, believe it or not, a lot of people. I used to think the same thing. Who the hell wants to listen to me? It's kind of like,
well, let me take you one step further. I had previously managed to develop a very, very unique talent. I ran the Valley Women's Network in the early 2000s, big women's organization here in the Lower Mainland.
Wow.
So I ran it for 2 years. My chapter had 160 members. We started at 40. We had 160 members by the time I was done my second year. Wow. But I would go and do my monthly meeting, walk into Costco, for example, the next day, and somebody would say to me, were you at the meeting yesterday? Pardon? I was the one, at the microphone on the meeting. And they go, no, you weren't. You weren't there. So that's what this is doing for me, is it's allowing me to be seen. So to be here with you is, although I've done some pretty incredible things, I didn't show up. And that's what's important.
You're showing up now very well, my beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm just so honored that you are part of this. More people need to get to know you, because the skill sets that okay, listen up, everybody. Not everybody likes to talk about what they can and cannot do, right? And people get very, very shy about their gifts. But you, Miss Wendy, do have a gift. Even outside of your beautiful creation and all your beautiful your amazing education, being a mom, being a wife, being a solopreneur, being creative, doing all these things, you also have another gift. And this is another reason that you've noticed with Limbic Arc is starting to really connect the dots on a higher level too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Everybody's intuition or gift, I like to call it your gift, your special little talents, right? Everybody starts to have that kind of, I guess I'm going to say there's this sense of knowing, of feeling your power, but from a real heart-centered space, not this space, not the ego space, but this heart-centered space that's just busting to get out. And that's why I love calling all of you my humanitarians, because you come from authenticity and heart-mindedness, and we've linked hands and we've linked arms, and you are all blossoming and growing. It is so beautiful to watch, all of us, because once we start doing this and this, it just gets better and better. And you have just been, it's been wonderful. I've just been loving it. I told you the first time that I will never forget our first conversation. You called me and go, Tony, I'm not sure about it. And I said, and I stopped you and I said, thank you. Thank you so much for having the courage to let me know that we have a hole. You were awesome. Well, and you were like, I said, no. I said, how am I going to know if nobody tells me?
So as a gift to the collective, what I would like to offer is something that I am good at. And that is connecting those dots.
Yay.
So being able to take, this Limbic Arc is sort of a interesting technology. And how do you integrate that into the business that you currently have? I was thinking about this, for example, for Sandra, right? And just as an example, doesn't have to be, but just as an example, if Sandra was to offer a package of $500 per month, she could build the Limbic Arc into that package. So maybe to help people sort of figure out where they can go.
Yeah.
And how they can integrate that. I seem to have this ability to do this kind of solution-based connecting the dots.
That is so cool. That is so cool, Wendy, because we need that. We our business people, I mean, let's face it, solopreneurs, we may be very creative, and some of us have been doing it a long time, but there's a lot of new people doing it now with this whole crazy thing, trying to become online and all this, and they don't know how to connect the dots. And our community is so good at supporting each other and helping each other, because we all bring a special gift, special talents, insights, and together we can all grow together and help each other expand in those areas. So this is what I love about our community. And I'm so excited to introduce all of you, because we all have different, it's not just about the healers and the channels. We need business people too, like yourself. These very creative, see the dots, see how it lines up, because let's face it, you're still surviving in this 3D world. You still gotta pay the bills. Here. Yeah. Still got to pay the bills. We still got to, move forward and keep a roof over our head, and do that with faith and belief, of course. But how cool that we have a whole community that we can turn to. Yeah. So this is another reason why I love what we're doing, because there's nothing out there that does this, where we can do what we love to do with other things we've had interest in. But like you said, we can find different ways to streamline this into it too, because it's a perfect marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
and it's so many places. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I know, and it's so funny you should mention Sandra, because we were also talking again that we may be doing some community group types of clearings for people as well. So another bonus part of our tribe community in our Quantum Influencers group. And we're just going to keep doing that. Like I think every week, my mind's just going crazy with ideas. Every time I talk to one of you, you're giving me another idea. It's fantastic. It's absolutely fantastic. And that's what it's about. It's about really pulling all that quantum energy together and all different facets of life, and just all of us just sharing and giving and receiving. And that's what flow is about. No more clogging the hose and twisting it all up and thinking you have to do this alone. And it's like, it's awesome. So thank you so much for sharing your journey. Thank you for sharing your wisdom, your ideas, your creativity. And thank you for extending your talents to those who are going to be perhaps joining us. So those of you who are joining us live or on the replay, I hope you're taking a really good listen to some of these interviews, because Limbic Arc is changing lives. It's changing lives in a big way. And, some people are not in a good place. Some people are in a good place, but no matter where you are in your life, it just keeps pulling it together, and it just keeps leveling it up all the time. So thank you so much, Wendy, for joining me this evening. You've been delightful. I'm so excited to hear about your family and how well they're doing. And of course, my heart is very full because I've been seeing you grow. And it's been just wonderful. And thank you so much again for joining me tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. And remember, reach out to the person who has invited you to Quantum Hearts and Quantum Heart Talks, and let them know that you're interested in our 30-day challenge that starts in November. So you can have access to all these beautiful lovelies and get your quantum bioscan and start up leveling into true wellness balance. So there you go. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks, Tony.
Thank you, Wendy. Bye.